Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. I wanted to film just a little short video because it's Easter Sunday and I've been very reflective. I've had a beautiful weekend with my family, and as I was getting ready this morning for us to go to church, my husband and my daughter fell asleep on the couch, and I thought I would sneak away and just share with you some of the points that have come to mind for myself that I think kind of harness the energy of Easter, whether you celebrate it or not. It is a very powerful message that comes through, one that really focuses on the ability for the human condition to suffer death and be reborn. And I know that not all of you obviously believe in one specific faith or another, or believe in Jesus Christ as a savior or individual. And to be perfectly honest, my own mind and belief in what I believe on a spiritual sense, my understanding of what is beyond myself doesn't align specifically with any one religion. But I do like to utilize the messages that come through in specific religious practices and in the honoring of specific individuals who have left an impact for good on the spiritual imprint of humanity. And one of those is the figure of Jesus Christ. Now, whatever you choose to believe in who he was as an individual or wasn't, the message that has carried forward and that we continue to celebrate to this day is one of unconditional love for others, and being able to live from that place. But more importantly, as we're kind of in a tumultuous time looking at the face of war and the face of illness and sickness and poverty and even discrimination and inequality, that when we look at the figure of Jesus Christ, he focused on really kind of breaking everything down to the bare bones, that we are all children of God, or that we are all equal in the eyes of the divine design, the divine architect, and that none of us is more special or less special, and that none of us also have the permission that as we are living our passion into life, meaning as we are living the uniqueness that is ours to share and be of service to the greater collective experience, we do not have the right to force others to share in that vision or to force others to do our own bidding. Instead, we can look to Jesus Christ as an example in that he did not force others to follow him. He didn't raise an army to fight another army. He instead lived out his experience, but authentically expressed it in the fullest way that he could, and he truly lived his passion into life. And that's a really important message. It's an important message for me, specifically because it resonates with my perspective on why it is so important for each one of us to live ourselves boldly and courageously into life and allow others to see our light so that they can also find theirs and courageously share theirs as well. But I'm getting a little emotional because it is such a beautiful message that we can simply just be ourselves, and in sharing ourself with our life experience, we do have the ability as a single individual to change the hearts and minds and to change a whole collective experience for the better. But that does have to start with love. It has to start with love for ourselves, love for our uniqueness, and the understanding of the passion that we want to bring into life. And to realize that we can't expect others to follow that passion. We can't expect others to even understand that passion, but we still have to have faith that we were created by something beyond our understanding, and that we are all part of this greater experience. And so each one of us has something truly unique to express. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that. I'm actually going to pull a couple cards as well, because what the heck, why not? It's a powerful day. You know, we're coming off of a beautiful Libra full moon from yesterday, which really focused on us balancing our needs with the many. You know, I'm getting a little bit of a Star Trek with Spock coming through of, you know, he sacrificed the one for the many. And that in and of itself is kind of mirroring the whole, Jesus message, or any martyr who has sacrificed themselves, sacrificed the ultimate thing that we can sacrifice, which is our life, ourself, our ability to be here in the physical sense. That when we do that, and we do that with thought for the greater collective experience, the beauty that can come from that. And again, it shows us the power that we have within our own unique individual life experience to impact the lives of others. Okay, I'm going to pull two cards here. So one card came right out, which is interesting because one of the cards that came out is a card that's come out for me now multiple times over the past 3 days from the same deck. It's the only card that's come out, and I find it very interesting. So we have two cards that came out. We have Orbs of Light, number 40. Such a beautiful image. Breaking down to number 4, and there's a lot about angelic, building of foundations with the number 4. And then we have relationship patterns. It says, it takes strength to recognize the need for change, which I think is beautiful in that, we are going through a time of change. I do feel that very deep within my core, that we are kind of moving into the next renaissance on a spiritual level for our collective experience. And we may not in this lifetime see that. We're kind of going through the messy, tumultuous, painful part of the birthing process. And we maybe might get a glimpse of the child that will be, but unfortunately, it's not on us. We won't be the ones to actually have to raise that child. We're kind of more focusing now on making sure that what is born and that the birth process happens healthily and that we're putting in all the things in place to allow for that spiritual child, so to speak, to be born, and to be born into something that has a strong foundation rooted in love, rooted in nurturing, rooted in that, again, kind of hope for all of humanity that comes when we give birth to a child, or when you interact with a child, you get to see the face of what will live on beyond us. So I'm going to read the little messages for both of these cards just as a point of awareness for this Sunday. So, and for the week ahead, this really is, I feel, just I'm saying that, kind of a collective reading moving forward. This energy will be pushing us to move forward. But that Libra full moon, it really focuses again on us balancing our needs and who we are as an individual, with also the awareness of the fact that every single other individual around us is doing the same, and that we must be aware and supportive of their needs as well. But kind of like the whole putting, the oxygen mask on yourself before putting the oxygen mask on your loved one in an, let's say, airplane crash scenario, that we have to make sure though that we're healthy, right? We're as healthy as we can be, so that then we can truly be of service to helping and supporting others. And that comes with also, being able to authentically express ourselves from a place of healthy awareness and energy, just that we have the energy to do that. Okay, so we have 40, Orbs of Light. It says the spiritual world, I'm just going to hold this image up because it's such a pretty image to look at. It says the spiritual worlds are delivering a message to you. You may have already heard it through telepathic reception and mistaken it for your own thought. Yet it is inspired by your higher guidance, those spiritual beings that love you without condition. It is an answer to a question and guidance to increase your happiness. And then it says, it is possible to pray without realizing it. The universe is lovingly listening to every thought and feeling in your heart and mind. When you intentionally speak to the universe and ask your higher guidance to help you with an issue, this is a powerful way to call the light into your life. It works, often quite rapidly. However, sometimes we ask for help without being so aware of doing so. Worrying about an issue or pondering a question are ways that this happens. There are orbs of light around you. They are spiritual beings that love you. These orbs contain information and energies that help answer questions and worries through the intelligence and love of the higher spiritual worlds. That information might come through a song, a phrase, a feeling, or a color or symbol that unlocks awareness in the deeper recesses of your mind and body. Orbs are always around us, but appear in more concentrated form, both in quantity and quality, in certain places and at certain times, including when your energy is in a particularly soft, receptive, and high-frequency state. Orbs naturally gravitate towards high energy. This doesn't mean you have to be on the go constantly. Higher energy can be created when you are very still by raising your frequency to a higher vibrational state. You can do this by regularly meditating on love and healing. You can place yourself in a state that is most attractive to orbs of light by relaxing, opening your heart, and feeling good. You are also most likely to perceive them around you in this state, which can be a fun and beautiful experience. Orbs are often only seen in photographs where they appear as a soft ball of light. If they are enhanced and magnified, patterns, symbols, and faces can sometimes be seen within them. This is part of the loving genius of the spiritual world, the way that light can reach the earth in form, helping to raise frequency from fear to love. Being in nature and doing some invocations to unconditional love creates an energy that is very attractive to orbs. So is group work based in love, such as meditating together to clear a sacred space in nature, then dancing and praying together in that space with joyful devotion to love. This attracts high-level guidance because a group can be a container powerful enough to generate and hold the higher frequencies of love. This can also happen for individuals, but group energy can be a powerful and effective way to attract a great downpour of spiritual grace. Clearing the energy of your home and calling in higher guidance to bless you and your home each day, perhaps with the invocation below, will also create a space in which orbs of light can more easily visit you, bringing their uplifting energy and healing light. And there is an invocation, but I'm not going to go into that. I think for you guys and for myself, it's more about just realizing that there is information all around us. And if we open ourselves up, again, transmuting fear into love, can we love our enemy? Can we love the collective experience enough through the love of ourselves that we can understand the place that someone who has a differing viewpoint or someone who is doing something that we don't see as good, can we hold space to still understand that there is a greater design to everything? And can we have faith in that? And can we love that individual for the fact that they exist in our same sphere and have something unique to bring, even if our view of it does not align? Okay, and then for the, actually, I'm going to pull the book down here. For the relationship patterns, it says it takes strength to recognize the need for change. And it does. And sometimes we don't want to change. You know, we have certain structures set in place and we feel like that is what we have to continue to stick by because it's hard to change, especially larger structures, larger institutions, larger belief patterns even. It says, trust your faith in this situation. And I love this number 12. You know, actually, this is interesting. It looks like there's, and I thought this was number 12. It's actually number 32. Sorry. It's interesting that I picked number 12 and it says have faith. So there's something about as I was talking there that we need that. Okay, relationship patterns, number 32. It says it takes strength to recognize the need for change. It says consider the patterns that drive you to attract certain people into your life. You may find the next person you meet has similar qualities to your last partner. This is what you are energetically attracting. Once you learn the lesson, you will be able to attract healthier outcomes. It may be helpful to share the disappointment or pain from the past, whether from your current relationship or another period in your life. Be honest with yourself and address situations as they happen. Acknowledge that you can no longer stifle your feelings. Know your strengths and your triggers. See your past relationships as opportunities to grow and figure out what makes you happy. You have a better chance at a lasting relationship when you have self-awareness. Avoid idealizing past relationships as they can hold influence over future outcomes. Sorry, let me just put that away there. Love will not magically make you feel worthy or happy unless you have achieved those values for yourself. A beautiful woman holds a hand mirror. She looks down at irises and a maiden playing a harp. The purple iris depicts wisdom and power. It is time to cull through residual emotions of past relationships. It is time to break your precedents. The harp is about striking a chord of truth in yourself. And I love this. I really love that there's this, or to just say, that there is this feeling now of understanding when it says, acknowledge that you can no longer stifle your feelings. Know your strengths and your triggers. And I think that this is that whole, part of self-awareness, that we understand that we are imperfect perfection. We are going to have those parts of ourselves that are triggers. That, I'm even thinking about the whole story of Jesus. And one of those things, yes, he was triggered at one point to go in and turn over the tables of the tax collectors, but also where he saw kind of the false preaching from the rabbis of the time, and anger rose up and he acted out. And he realized after that okay, that's not oops, sorry. But it's to show that we can all have these moments of righteous anger, or we can all have these moments where we misspeak or we act kind of just out of turn. But we can transmute that from, I made a mistake and let me judge myself critically, or watch somebody else make a mistake and judge them critically, and transmute that into the energy of love through learning, through saying, that was part of my imperfectness. That's my Achilles heel. And it's meant to humble a part of myself so that I can better bring out my strengths from this place of humble awareness, of kind of having that servant mentality of my strength is meant to be of service. It's not meant to just make me a bunch of money or make my life perfect, or that everybody should kind of align with this. It's more about realizing that we have to embody the highest vision and version of our own strengths, and we have to be aware of that first, and then we can allow others to come to us that feel the same way, that see the same way, that maybe have other strengths that will help elevate and illuminate our strengths, along with us being able to do the same. And it's not, I really do feel that this is not about the card is not about looking outward, it's about looking inward. That we get to change ourselves at any given time. We get to grow, we get to expand, we get to unlock different parts of ourselves. And in doing so, we actually can be a part of the greater growth, expansion, and change in what we unlock and are able to share more fully from a place of passion with our external environment. All right, guys, thank you for joining me here. I don't know if anybody's even going to watch this, but I felt compelled to do this. And, for all of you who are on your spiritual journey, it can be difficult to sometimes battle that question of, am I following the right religion? Am I following the right spiritual practice for myself? I want to speak to something that resonates with me on this level, but I feel like I might, it might fall on deaf ears, or it might even, how would I put this? step on other people's toes. I think it's a strange thing of the realm of spirituality, because it is such an integral part to being a human. It is part of our experience. And that there is, in every culture since time began, there has been some type of spiritual practice. Whether it's just dancing and chanting and telling stories that help try to explain the greater beauty of what we can't explain, or whether it's devotion to a specific leader or a specific person who shares a specific message, or whether it's just you sitting in nature and truly just connecting intuitively with everything that is. It's integral. It is a need. It is literally a physical need. It is as needed as literally drinking water and eating food. And I would love to support all of you just me being here. I'd love to support you on your spiritual journey, because and when I say spiritual journey, I mean about greater unlocking yourself and a better understanding of your life experience and how important you are in it. So if you find that you are having a little difficulty around leaning into some aspect of finding a connection spiritually, meaning something to support you on a spiritual level, whether that is trying to find a religious practice or trying to find a something that unlocks that emotional feeling to, okay, I feel connected. I feel like in doing this and being with this group of people, or in participating in this type of meditation, or in going out into nature and taking a hike, I find what spiritually supports me. If you're having difficulty there, I'd love for you to reach out to me, because that is something that I think we all need a little hand holding on at some point or another. And, if you do want to express yourself and your faith or how you see the world, do so. Do so with faith, courageously, and not from a place of fear where you feel like you have to express it and then be worried that you're going to, again, step on someone else's toes and speaking from your own perspective, or that you might offend somebody. Instead, come from the energy of love. You are sharing yourself with the greater experience, and that is all we are ever asked to do. So speak from that place and expect from that place that love will be returned to you. And that's how we start the first steps into emotionally connecting with the spiritual plane of our existence, with our own individual importance. Again, it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can literally just be speaking from your perspective. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. Have a wonderful end to your weekend, and I look forward to a beautiful week ahead. And bye. Love you guys.